Carl, a 2-2 draw in the end here against Aldershot. What's your immediate reaction to that?
Frustration, obviously. I think, a few things went against us today. I haven't seen it, but apparently, their first goal's offside. But then the response is really good. And you could see in the first half what we were trying to do. We sustained pressure. We had good possession. We got the ball into good areas. Obviously the 2 goals, especially Owens, is a great goal and it sort of showcases what we want from them. But again, we have to work harder in terms of the out of possession and the transition moments because we look too open. It's frustrating when we build and build and build, create an opportunity, and then teams are sort of going really direct and getting joy. So we have to make sure that when the ball turns over, that we're more focused and we're picking up better positions within our structure to sort of foil those attacks. But then, of course, disappointing losing Brandon at half time. I think that sort of unbalanced us and we didn't look as threatening. So, yeah, it was frustrating because I felt the game was there for us.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned frustration a couple of times there. I suppose where does that frustration sort of stem from for you mainly at the minute?
I think because second half I didn't think we created a hell of a lot, and I think that was a lot to do with being unbalanced, with having to put Radders over onto that side. We wanted to exploit our overload in midfield, but whereas Brandon was able to do that because he's left-footed, he can, release the ball quicker into those areas. I think Radders was forced to come back in onto his right foot, and by that point, that allows Aldershot to get into a shape, and we missed a number of opportunities to play forward. Then I think our ball speed and our recycle across the back could be quicker. So yeah, those are the frustrations. Obviously, Kane has a good opportunity. I think it was end of the first half, and I think if we go in at half time 3-1 up, then I think the game's done. But obviously, when they get the equaliser early on, the mood of the players changed. You could sense players getting restless, the noise from the stand. Everybody just was willing for that goal and that free-flowing football to go and create opportunities. But yeah, I think we were unbalanced and we couldn't be as effective as we were in the first half.
Yeah, you mentioned losing Brandon at half-time. What was the sort of situation with that, really?
Yeah, I'm gutted for Brandon because everyone can see his quality. He's such a good player, but is obviously just struggling with the load, with his coughs. It's nothing serious. It's just, being able to sustain the load on these pitches, particularly as they're getting heavier. So, he's such an important player for us, as you could see in the first half with his influence, and it was disappointing not to be able to keep him on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that on the side of the goals really, but obviously still positives for you today in the game as well. I mean, you touched on Brandon there as well, obviously created the first goal in terms of getting high up and getting across in like he's asking boys to do, but still, as you say, although it's a frustrating afternoon in terms of the result and not getting 3 points, still things that were there on shore that were positive for you to see as well.
Definitely, and that's what I said to the boys. There were a lot of positives. I don't look at the game and see it as a negative. Obviously, there's things to work on, but generally, there were more positives in there for me to take. But we have to make sure that, like I said, in those transition moments, we are smarter and we're picking up better positions and we're being more alert to it, because teams are wanting to do that now. They know that will sustain pressure and they'll be direct and they'll be quick on counter-attack. So we have to start acknowledging that as a group and be better at it. But generally, overall, I was pleased with the control, even though I felt it was too slow in the second half and we struggled to really penetrate and create any opportunity, real clear-cut opportunities. But overall, I'm coming away from it with more positives than negatives for sure.